How's it going, guys? aRenG Life here, and today we got word of the new set that's coming out. We got Clash of Wings on its way, coming out potentially on Wednesday, I believe. So keep an eye out for that. And this set is looking pretty interesting. I mean, right off the bat, they're showing us a new card that I've never seen before. But I went ahead and read its effect. I read all the cards in this set, and they're looking pretty interesting. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about what are the best cards in Clash of Wings. Let's go ahead and get things started. Alright, first up we got Elector, Sovereign of Birds. So this guy kind of came out of nowhere. I was not expecting this guy when I heard that the set was going to be called Clash of Wings. I really didn't. I thought we were going to get like a whole bunch of Wing Beast support, maybe like a Samorg or whatever, that guy's deck. I know he had a structure deck in the TCG. But whatever, we actually got Elector over here. Elector, don't be fooled. This guy is pretty good. Elector, Sovereign of Birds, is a monster that's a 2400 beater that can be special summoned by its own effect, and it can completely negate effects for like one card on the field once per turn. That's not bad. That's actually pretty decent. If you can find a way to protect this guy can be really, really good. So let's go ahead and talk about his effect. If your opponent controls 2 or more face-up monsters of the same attribute, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, you can target one face-up card on the field. That target's effects are negated during this turn. There can only be one face-up Elector Sovereign of Birds on the field. Now, instantly I thought about what the whole double same attribute thing would mean for this guy, because if in the meta there's no decks that run cards that you spam the board with monsters with the same attribute, this card's gonna be useless. But I started thinking, and I'm like, oh wait, don't Amazonas all have Earth monsters? Or don't, I don't know, like any other deck, YuGiOh have all Earth? There's a lot of decks that have all of one type or attribute of monsters. So if they have 2 of them, you can easily summon this guy. So he's kind of like he feels kind of like a Cyber Dragon, but he's got this other effect where he can just completely shut down somebody's effect. That could be pretty good. You can just shut down monster effects pretty easy with Elector over here. Not bad. So if you're being shut down by something along the lines of maybe a Chaos Hunter, you could summon this and maybe shut down Chaos Hunter. If you're going up against Archfiends or something, you can shut down that, then start banishing, doing other shenanigans. I don't know. I still don't know what deck you would run this in, because it looks like it can be splashed for the most part. You don't really need to run a deck for this. It could just be splashed in most decks. But whatever, it just looks like a card that counters a certain meta. Next up, we got Widespread Ruin. Now, this is an old card. I'm going to say this now. This is an old card from actual Yu-Gi-Oh! So, I mean, when I saw this, it basically states when your opponent monster declares an attack, destroy the attack position monster your opponent controls with the highest attack. Your choice if tied. So I thought of this, and I was like, well, this is kind of like a dumb version of Super Rush. It kind of is, to be honest. But, I mean, there's certain situations where this is better, certain situations where Super Rush is a lot better. Like, let's say if you have no monsters, Super Rush is completely useless. Widespread Ruin, though, it does work, and it does pretty much shut down your opponent's strongest monster. Also, in situations where you have, like, one monster on board, your opponent's got 2 monsters that are stronger than your one monster, and they attack with the weaker monster. They're trying to kill your monster, they're trying to play around Super Rush. Widespread Ruin kills their biggest monster, automatically. So I think that's the only way that Widespread Ruin is going to be good. I mean, don't get me wrong, this card is still pretty good because it is destruction for an opponent's card. It's kind of like a Mirror Force, but like very, very limited, very, very dumb. Because you don't exactly choose what you want to destroy. It's usually just going to be their strongest. So if their strongest monster is just a beater and a weaker monster is the problem monster, this is not going to be the best card to use. But Widespread Ruin, pretty good. It's like an extra copy of Super Rush in the deck, so it's not that bad. Now we got the introduction of the new archetype that we're getting. We actually got a little sneak peek of this. If you guys have been playing the tag tournament, whatever, there's these 2 girls in like the, I guess, Blue Eyes Cup, and they use this deck, and they use the For Hires, and they're pretty good. I mean, I've lost to them a few times because they just kind of go off. So this deck is very momentum based. You basically summon this guy, and his effect states that when he's summoned, you get to when he's on the field, basically, you get to special summon again. And when another For Hire is special summoned, he gets an effect which is basically search another For Hire. So that's pretty much all you want in a card. I mean, this is kind of like the Amazonas Princess, because you summon him and you get all your plays off. You're gonna get a +1, you're gonna get an extra monster on board. that's not bad. That's actually really, really good. Also, you do get all the other for hire effects because they get summoned, they do things too. So it's not bad. I mean, this is pretty good. So there's that. I think this guy's going to be the heart and soul of the for hire archetype for now, at least. But this just looks like a pretty fun deck. All you're trying to do is just spam the board, summon as many monsters as possible, get all their effects when special summon and all that other stuff. So they look pretty fun. I just gotta say, this deck looks interesting. Now we got Mecha Phantom Beast Mega Raptor. Mega Raptor is, well, another addition to the Mecha Phantom Beast archetype that we've been kind of getting over time in Duel Links, but they've never been like a cohesive thing. They don't really ever really work together. They kind of just summon tokens, but they don't really help each other. Now, I think we're finally getting a bit of Mecha Phantom Beast support where they're trying to do the thing they want to do. And I think Mega Raptor and the next card pretty much do that thing. This one states, when a token is summoned, you get an extra token. I don't know how you're going to be using it as often because the triple zones, so you might not even use that effect. That's fine. This guy also has the effect that he gains the levels of all the other tokens, so I've definitely thought about using this with Beatdown, maybe Kaiba or Crowler with Beatdown or something. That'd be pretty cool because these guys are instantly going to become like level 7s. So at least. So there's that. You can only use the effect of this guy once per turn. While you control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. That's pretty good. I mean, it still loses to Amazoness because they banish, so banishing is too strong. To be honest, I don't know what Konami was doing, adding banish shenanigans to Duel Links. It's way too strong. They might have to just ban altogether the Amazoness trap because it shuts everything else down. Can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. And once per turn, you contribute one token and add one Mecha Phantom Beast monster from your deck to your hand. So this guy's a searcher, basically. So you got a token, you can either keep it so he doesn't get destroyed, or you contribute it to get a free search. You can search probably another copy of this guy because it doesn't say you can't search another copy of Mega Raptor. So you can legitimately add another copy of Mega Raptor, have a 1900 beater, potentially if it survives next turn have 2 Mega Raptors on board. Which is not bad. I mean, it's pretty good, and they're going to be a little bit better. But whatever, we're going to go ahead and look at the next card, which is Mecha Phantom Beast Black Falcon. Black Falcon is over here. This one states, when this card declares an attack, special summon one Mecha Phantom Beast token. Now that's a little bit more viable, but this guy is 1200, so he's not as great. The other guy's 19, so if they had their effects reversed, maybe they might be a little bit better. I don't know. I don't know too much about Mecha Phantom Beast. All I know is that Draco Sack was really expensive in the TCG. He summons a level 3/0/0 machine whatever token, and this card's level is increased by the total levels. Same thing, beat down Kaiba. While you control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Alright, fair enough. And once per turn during either player's turn, you contribute one token, then target one monster your opponent controls, and change that target to face-up defense. So it kind of works like an econ because it switches your opponent's monster to defense position, so you can potentially run it over. I mean, this guy is meant to be played. You're just gonna have him in defense position either way because he's got a higher defense. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like this has a little bit more potential, but it's still not all there. Because you feel like Mecha Phantom Beast, like they need something else. They need a boss monster. Actually, I think there is a boss monster in this set, but it's like a big defense boss monster. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but they're probably gonna have their own very specific playstyle. Now we got Blowback Dragon, a very standard card. I mean, we've had this in the game for a while, but it hasn't been usable. It's been NPC only. So this guy, basically like a weaker version of Barrel Dragon, in the sense that he has pretty much the same exact effect, but he's one tribute, and he's a little bit weaker. I think, I forget, like 300 points weaker. So you summon this guy, he's kind of like a weaker Barrel Dragon, but he's one tribute, so he's a little bit easier to summon. It's just a pretty good one tribute, and you flip 3 coins, if 2 of them are heads, destroy whatever you targeted. You target one card your opponent controls. That's the only difference between him and Barrel Dragon. Barrel Dragon has to be a monster, I believe. This guy could be a card, so this could be used to get over pretty much anything, but you are relying on luck, so you might need like a coin toss, coin flip deck. I don't know what you would want to call it, but you might need that in order for it to make just to be the most useful. Next up, we got Silent Psychic Wizard. Silent Psychic Wizard really reminds me of like Silent Magician and Silent Swordsman because it's got their colors. I don't know if there's any lore there that makes them like kind of related, but it is a psychic, has completely nothing to do with Silent Magician or Silent Swordsman. This is its own thing. It's kind of like psychic support, which is another thing we're getting in this set. So if you like psychics, GG, you're gonna get a lot of support. If you like some machine stuff, you're gonna get some support, and if you like worms, you're gonna get some support too. This card is basically stating that when he's normal summoned, you get to banish a psychic in the grave, and when he dies, you get to revive the banished card that you banished by his effect. So, or monster at least. So, I think this is really good for summoning a big psychic. Like, I think the biggest psychic we have in the game might be Master Gig. I'm not 100% sure, but if it is, then you can at least go for that. So if you have a way to like send a really big psychic to the grave, you can at least use him to like spam that big guy out. He's also 1900, so that's not bad. I mean, he's still a beater. I think most cards with 1900 attack and an effect that is not a negative effect are pretty good. I mean, they're usually just pretty good because they're just good beaters. So this psychic guy, not bad. He's a pretty good card in his own deck. I think he might make some plays. We got Wind-Up Juggler. Now, Wind-Up Juggler. Wind-Ups are in Duel Links. Wind-Ups were in the TCG a while back, and they were actually really strong. I know because they had a Wind-Up loop. I don't think we're going to be seeing that in this because Konami's not that dumb. We got Wind-Up Juggler. This card, about this guy's effect, I mean, he kind of reminds me of Exploder Dragon in the sense that when he gets attacked, or if he battles somebody else or they battle him, you're basically going to kill both monsters. So this guy dies, your opponent's monster dies, they both die. Now, I am thinking about a few ways to kind of abuse this. Maybe using Impenetrable Attack on this guy, so Wind-Up Juggler plus Impenetrable Attack. They attack into him, then you activate your card, making this guy unable to be destroyed, and then your opponent's monster 100% guaranteed destroyed. Like, it's going to get destroyed because of this guy's effect. So I think that's pretty good. It also kind of reminds me of that 1/6 Sam guy. I forget his name, I think it's Zanji or something. He has a pretty similar effect, but whatever, this guy has that effect. He's okay, I guess, and he's 1700 attack. He's also part of the Wind-Up archetype, so that's not bad. It's the SR, I mean, if it's the SR of the Wind-Up archetype, I'm guessing wind-ups aren't completely there because we're not getting all the good wind-ups yet. I don't think we're getting Wind-Up Shark. We're not getting Wind-Up Magician. We're not getting, I think Wind-Up Hamster was also there. Wind-Up, oh, there's a lot of wind-ups. There's a lot of wind-ups. But we're not getting a lot of them, so don't expect wind-ups to be too crazy. They're gonna be pretty limited. That's for now, at least. And after that, we got Mistaken Accusation. Now, this card, I think this card has some serious potential, because this is kind of like an anti-meta card that pretty much shuts down any deck that relies on like one playmaking card. If your opponent's they have a deck that relies on one card. Let's say, for instance, it's Legion the Fiend Jester. If they have a deck that relies on Legion the Fiend Jester, Mistaken Accusation completely shuts that down. It would make it to where Legion the Fiend Jester cannot be played by you or your opponent. Which, I mean, if you're not playing it, your opponent's the one that's going to get wrecked there. So they can't play their best card anymore, making it pretty unlikely that they're going to win. It will work for any situation. Works for like Sylvans. You target Martial Leaf or something. It's got to be face up, so that's why I'm saying Martial Leaf. Probably not Mushroom, because Mushroom is usually going to be face down, and once you flip it, it's pretty much too late now. But I mean, usually you could attack into the Mushroom, flip it, probably not kill it, activate this card that you have set, or maybe from the hand, Mistaken Accusation, target the Mushroom. You know what I mean. They can't play that card anymore. So that's pretty good. I also have a little bit of a theory here. I don't know 100% because this is just one thing I'm thinking of. But how would this card work against Amazoness Princess? Would it completely shut down the deck? That's what I want to know. Would it completely shut down Amazoness? Because it would completely shut down two of their cards. Because, you know, Amazoness Princess, her name changes when she gets summoned onto the board. So when she comes out, she becomes Amazoness Queen. So if you use this card on Amazoness Princess, who is now Amazoness Queen, your opponent can no longer use their boss monster, Amazoness Queen. I think that's pretty interesting. Also, the fact that when you summon Princess, she becomes Queen. So does that mean your opponent cannot summon Princess anymore? Because cards of that same name cannot be played. I don't know, but if that is the intended reason for this card's addition in this set, then, I mean, I gotta give props to Konami. That's pretty cool. Whatever. I do think this card is pretty interesting. It can be used to pretty much shut down anything. I'm gonna want maybe 1 to 3 copies of this, definitely. This card is one of the cards I'm going to be chasing, because this card looks pretty good. You can use it on pretty much anybody, let's say, but the only thing is their card has to be a card that remains on the field, because, and I mean, they have to have more cards than you to activate, so if they're losing, you're probably not going to be able to use it against them, but they're losing, so who cares? But whatever. This one does say you have to target a face-up card on the field. I don't know if that would work for Mass Change. I really don't think it would work, because I don't think Mass Change is officially a face-up. Even though it's quick play, you can chain with his quick play. I don't know. I really don't. I don't think it works that way. But if it does, this card is going to be even better. Even better. But I just don't think it's going to work on Mass Change. Whatever. And last up, we got W Nebula Meteorite, which is a pretty meh card. I mean, it only works for one deck. That's why I'm saying it's meh. It's not because it's a bad card, it's just because it's limited. It looks like it's only going to work for worms. It's going to be pretty much the worm support card that might make them good. I don't know, but worms are pretty much pretty much cheap archetype. They're going to be all normals, rares. I don't think there's any SRs worms in the game. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think I've ever seen one. Let me know if there is one. I just don't remember at the moment. But we got W Nebula Meteorite, who kind of shows us their new playstyle. This is going to be the new worm playstyle. Before, it was just kind of like, oh, you set them, and then when they're destroyed or when they're flipped, you get an effect, which is kind of the same thing now. But now it looks like what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a big level 7 light reptile monster on the field in defense position, and then this one flips them and then puts them face down again, and you keep getting their effect over and over. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, definitely think that's pretty cool. So this is going to be really good for that one deck, but you never know, this might make a meta or something. I don't think so, but you never know with Konami, dude. You never know. I think that's pretty much it for all the SRs and URs in this set. Now we have some honorable mentions. Let's go ahead and just get that out of the way. I was talking about the worms. We got Worm Victory as one of the I guess the main guy. You could tell because he's always got like 2 fingers up because he's like V for victory, that kind of meme. So whatever, this guy has his effect where he destroys all face-up monsters on the field except reptile-type worm monsters. His card gains 500 attack for each reptile worm monster in your graveyard. Now, I think I wanted to talk about this one right after Nebula Meteorite because it's called W Nebula Meteorite because it's Worm Nebula Meteorite, and it works only with worms for the most part. But if you have this effect where you could pretty much flip this guy, you could pretty much destroy your opponent's stuff. It's just a pretty good card. I mean, your opponent's going to be playing attack position usually, so you're going to be wrecking all their stuff. I mean, that's pretty cool. It does look like this guy's the only level 7 because I think the other guys are level 6 and level 8. Yeah, so you got Worm King apparently, who you can try to bring out, but I don't know. I think this guy might be the main guy. So there's that for worms. So for hires, look like they're going to be pretty decent because they can special summon from with a quick play. So it's basically kind of like a Monster Reborn, but it's got to be in defense position. So this means you can use their effects on your opponent's turn, which is pretty interesting. I mean, depending on what their effects are, they might be able to make some really cheeky plays. Mecha Phantom Beast also look like they're getting some pretty decent support. They have a lot of back row cards like spells and traps that really support them. It's usually cards that let you summon tokens and stuff, but you know some of the Mecha Phantom Beasts really like having tokens out. So I don't know, man. I feel like it goes it just helps out their deck, but I don't know how viable it's gonna be. We're not in Link format, by the way. And I guess just to end it off, we're gonna be looking at some of the for hires. We got Dumpa over here, Marksman for hire. They all have different effects, but there's actually quite a few we're getting. We're getting Recon, we're getting Seal, we're getting Dinah, who looks like it's going to be their big boss monster, at least the strongest. I've seen this used on me all the time against the NPC. I've never seen this one. I've never seen Wiz, I believe. I don't think I've seen it. I usually auto-duel when I want to be fair, so I don't think I've seen it, but fair enough, there's that one. And I think that's pretty much it for hires. It's going to be a pretty limited set. I mean, you don't really need that many cards to make a deck. If you have maybe 3 different types of cards, you can already make a deck with that. So that's pretty much that. And that's pretty much it for today's video. I just wanted to talk about all the best cards in the new set, and I think that pretty much covers it. This set is looking like it's kind of its own thing. I don't know if this is the best thing for new players to invest in because it looks like it's going to be a lot of gimmicky decks. I don't know how they're going to be playing yet, so you never know. Maybe the for hires might be meta. They might be actually really, really good. I doubt Mecha Phantom Beasts are going to be that meta, but they could be pretty good too, depending on how you have the cards. But you're going to need some cards from other sets and stuff, so that's what I'm saying. They're not for new players. The Psychics look pretty good. These Psychics look pretty decent. I think if you have the Psychic support, if you've been grinding and getting Psychics off of, I forget who, Esperoba, and I forget who else, dude. I forget where we were getting the Psychics from before. I know you got them off a player. But if you have the Psychics, then these guys might be pretty good too. But I don't know. I think that's pretty much it for today's video. Let me know if you guys have any ideas for some of these cards. If you have any interesting plays in mind that you're looking forward to. Maybe you play these guys in the TCG and you just can think of something cool. Let me know if you have any tips for Mistaken Accusation, which I think this card is going to be really, really good, but I just don't know yet. I really need to test it out. I don't know if it's going to work against Mass Change. I don't think so, but I really, really, really want to test it out against Amazoness. But whatever, that's pretty much it for today. And if you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Duel Link shenanigans. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today. Have a great day, and see you guys.